Many people have played the game Pokemon, but there are some players who decide to step up their game and bring it to another level. With this, the Pokemon Nuzlocke was born. Under the rules of a Nuzlocke, players are only allowed to capture the first Pokemon they encounter in each route and have to deposit or box any Pokemon which has fainted in battle. If the whole team is wiped out, then the player's Nuzlocke challenge would be considered unsuccessful and they have to restart the game. Some people have stepped up their game further by introducing items and Pokemon types restriction during the playthrough of a Nuzlocke. But in today's video, and perhaps this new series, I'm going to explore something totally different and new. Since this channel is primarily a math edutainment channel, what if we only use Pokemon whose dex number is a prime number for my Nuzlocke challenge of Pokemon Emerald? I have a quick look, and it seems possible at first, at least up until the second gym, but I think we are going to encounter some very serious trouble later into the game. Beyond that, I have no idea what will happen, and whether this run will be successful at all. Oh, and for those of you who didn't know, a very quick revision or intro, a prime number is a number which can only be divided by 1 or itself. 35 is not a prime number, as we have the divisors 5 and 7, but the number 23 would be. 1 is not a prime number, that's a special case. Now, the major headache would be that since every number, out of 2, is even, there cannot be any consecutive prime numbers except for 2 and 3, and this means we will not be able to evolve any of our Pokemon we have caught in the wild, and not to mention, some of the evolved Pokemon whose Pokedex number is prime is out of our reach as well. You will see how fast this turns into a pain later on, but without further ado, let's get this adventure started. We play as a boy, and our character name is as uninspiring as it goes, but unsurprising given this is a challenge focused on the prime numbers. After the lecture by Professor Birch, we met our mum, went upstairs and set the clock, went through the entire routine of the awkward encounter with May before we went and picked up our first Pokemon. Out of the 3 starters, only Mudkip has a Pokedex number which is a prime number. And note, before any of you start asking, Trico is off limit as 1 is not a prime number. This is perhaps the single most useful piece of math knowledge you will take away from this video. So there you go. The start was quite rocky, with Tackle, a move with 95% accuracy, missing twice in a row, which apparently is more likely to occur than the natural chance of having twin babies during a pregnancy, but of course less likely than the probability of encountering a shiny Pokemon or winning the lottery. Anyway, we dispose of the Poochyena and follow the professor back to the lab, where I decide to nickname our Mudkip Lucky, because we are going to need a lot of luck for this, and also, Lucky Primes apparently is a category of prime numbers. There is no more Pokemon with prime Pokedex in Route 101 and 103, although ironically, both 101 and 103 are prime numbers. We level up Lucky until we hit level 7, which is a Lucky Prime, before we take on May, and defeated her Trico in 2 moves after scoring a critical hit. After we went back to Literate Town and formally obtained the Pokedex, the world is now our oyster, as we venture carefully into Route 102. We are going to get our first encounter here. By the way first encounter works in this Prime Nuzlocke is that I am allowed to keep encountering Pokemon until we get the first Pokemon of which Pokedex is a prime number, since it would be impossible for us to progress if we keep skipping encounters when the first Pokemon we encounter is not of a prime Pokedex. This should be self-evident, but I'm just putting it out just in case it's not clear. Considering all the available Pokemon with prime Pokedex, in this route, we could either have Rots or Lotad. Out of these 2, we definitely prefer Rots. Even though we couldn't evolve it, and it is pretty useless with very low base stats, it's still going to be quite useful to have a Psychic Pokemon in our face-off against the second fighting gym later. The problem is, Lotad has an encounter rate of 20%, and Rots has a measly 4%, so I'm not getting my hopes up. But lo and behold, the RNG gods decide to smile at us this time round, and we manage to capture a Rots, which I decide to nickname as Sophie, since she's a girl, and after some consideration, I decide to follow some sort of prime category naming theme for the nicknames of my Pokemon. We defeat all the trainers in Route 102 without much difficulty, before proceeding to Petalburg City, met our dad, and guided Wally through catching his first Pokemon. There will be no addition to our team in Petalburg City, since all the Pokemon are only accessible via Overrod or Surfing. However, before going to Petalburg Woods, I decided to switch train Sophie so she could pick up a bit of experience and level up to learn the move Confusion. We battled a fisherman who claimed he had fished up a Pokemon with magical quality, and Lucky happily tackled the helpless fish into submission as we tried to knock a bit of sense into the fisherman's head. Oh yeah, it surely looks tough. Guess not. Going into the woods, there's a possible Pokemon to catch, Cascoon, of which Pokedex number is 17, which is a prime number. I'm however not going to add it to the team, as the only move it will learn is Harden. Given that we are not allowed to evolve it into Dustox, which by the way is a super cool Pokemon, I decided to just let go of this chance. In the woods, we defeated the Team Aqua Gran. Its Poochyena of level 9 posed little challenge to our team. We traded attacks, where Lucky started off with Water Gun, and it started off with a Howl. Given that Water Gun would not be a 2-hit KO, I opted for Mud Slap, with the aim to lower its accuracy during the second round, which I guess works like a charm, since the Poochyena missed tackle during its next turn, allowing us to finish off with a Water Gun. After this little encounter, we did not stay for too long in the woods. Something to be mentioned though is that we did not encounter Cascoon on our way, so I guess it's still there next time if you want to pick up a Pokemon, although I think the run is pretty much over if we ever find ourselves in this situation where we need a Cascoon. I wouldn't imagine any use for it, except to continually use Harden and PP stall the opponent to eternity. Anyway, going out from the woods into Route 104, we obtain the TM Bullet Seed and continue to defeat the rest of the trainers. There's no Pokemon of which Pokedex is prime here, so again, no new addition to our team. We are finally now in Rustboro and ready to face off against our first gym leader, Roxanne. Given the choice of our starter, this will be the easiest gym, of which we have to face in the entire game. But still, there's no way I'm going to take any chance. I chose to engage each gym trainer separately and took out their Geodudes by ease, given their 4 times weakness against water. Before long, we finally stood before Roxanne and was ready for the final stand. My main concern, if any at all, would be her nose pass, since I know Water Gun would probably be a 3-hit KO, while its move, Rock Throw and Rock Tomb, can hit quite hard. I gave Lucky an Oran Berry to hold just in case, made sure I stocked up on some potions, and off we went. Her first 2 Pokemon are level 12 Geodudes, which went down in 1 hit, as I expect, when Lucky blasted Water Gun at them. Now out came Nosepass, her ace Pokemon. Lucky brought her health down by 1/3 through Water Gun, and in return, our speed got cut from Rock Tomb, and it did damage of around 1/4 of our HP. In the second round, the Nosepass outsped us and used Brock, which is pretty useless by the way, since I have no intention of switching in Sophie for a suicide mission. But Lucky retaliated with a critical hit, which brought the Nosepass down and secured our first gym badge. Now, without the critical hit, I still think that we are pretty much guaranteed a win here. After the second Water Gun, Roxanne is probably going to heal using a potion, while we do not have to, given that I gave Lucky the Oran Berry. The momentum would probably swing in our favor and carry us to victory, but of course I would not reject the Lucky crit, which spare us the usage of an Oran Berry. And finally, even though Lucky is at level 16, we have to stop his evolution, sadly, as we are not allowed to have a Mushstorm, of which Dex number is not a prime number. So, that's it for the very first episode in this whole new series. In the upcoming one, we have an elusive Pokemon to track down, and of course, the second gym battle to come, which is a lot more tougher than this one. What do you think about this challenge? Would you like to see more of this? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you next time, whether in this series or not. And until then, goodbye.